Hey guys, this is Serah. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Serah Reads, and I hope everyone watching this video right now are doing well and good. So welcome to the second episode of the series Beyond the Blurb, where I'll talk about books that no one talks about. So the book that I selected for this episode is The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. So without any further ado, let's talk about it. So this video is split into three parts, where in the first part where I'll share the plot overview. The second part is where I'll share my personal reflections and insight about this book, where there will be spoilers. And the third part is where I'll talk about how this book made me feel while reading it. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. This novel is set in Kerala in the 1900s, and it follows the epic story of a Christian family called Parambil. This story begins when a 12-year-old girl is married to a 40-year-old widower who already has a son. She is thrust into a new life, into a new family that she doesn't know, and a house full of expectations. Despite her young age and innocence, she slowly grows into a strong, compassionate big Ammachi, the emotional center of the entire family. But what makes this family unique and haunted is a mysterious condition that falls through generations. Members of this family are fated to die due to drowning. This novel spans 3 generations about how the family survives, how the family evolves, and what is the reason behind this tragic condition and a potential cure. It's a multi-generational saga filled with hope, faith, and science. The only thing that I want to tell to the people who haven't read this book is how emotionally heavy this book is. It's not that difficult to read in terms of language, but it's deep and it will take you time to absorb what's written. And there is something that literally amazed me after I completed this book when I read the acknowledgements is that he spent 14 years writing this book. Yes, you heard me right. He spent 14 years writing this novel. And I'm really awestruck by his dedication, and this is a book worth writing for 14 years. This is the second part of the video where I'll talk about my personal reflections and insight, and this part is strictly for the people who have already read this. There is something that I have noticed while reading the book is that the real name of Bikamachi was not revealed until she named her granddaughter Mariama. And also Bigamachi's husband was also unnamed. The fact that the two most prominent people in the Parambil family, the heart and the soul of the Parambil family, the Bigamachi and her husband, were unnamed. And I felt that the author is trying to make a statement. It's almost as if the author was trying to tell us that the people who hold the family together, who sacrifices everything for a family, goes beyond a name. They are known by the role they play, the love they give, and the respect that they deserve. They call them Bigamachi or Tambran not because they've forgotten their real name, it's because they are bigger than their real name. Their identity is tied between how they feel them and how we love them. Next thing that I want to comment about this book is regarding the female characters. Every single female characters in this book was absolutely gem of a person. From Big Ammachi, Elsie, Celeste, Mariama, Oda Tukochamma, Lissy, Anmachetati, everyone was strong and great. They were phenomenal and I love every single one of them. But if you ask me who is my absolute favorite is, that is Bigamachi. So Bigamachi was married to a family at the age of 12 to a 40-year-old widower who had already have a child. She was assigned to take care of his child, Jojo, where she took care of Jojo as her own child. And then Jojo dies, and here comes her first child, baby Mole, who have a developmental syndrome. And then she gives birth to another child called Philippos, and at the age of 35 she becomes a widow, and then she becomes the Bigamachi, who take care of the entire Parambil family. And later, she was also assigned to take care of her granddaughter. So Big Amachi sacrificed her entire life, not only for the Verambil family, but also for the society. If I ever got a chance to meet her, I'll give her a warm hug. So now I'm moving to my second favorite character in the story, that is Celeste. Celeste was a woman with so much grace, dignity, and a true passion for art and literature. But what makes her powerful and heartbreaking is that she was a victim of marriage. Despite everything that has happened in her life, she lived for her children. And for me, that's a mark of a strong woman. I'm being honest, I really felt sad when she gave up on her life. My third favorite character in the novel was Elsie. The reason why I love her is because I saw myself in her. Yes, you heard me right. She's ambitious, creative, and full of love for art and literature, and that's almost like me. She dreams of living a life, shaped by love and creativity. And then she marries Philippos, believing that he will help to achieve her dreams, but that illusion slowly falls down, and it made me terribly sad. And I also want to appreciate how the author made the character Elsie flawed, not perfect. Like nobody is perfect, and he also made Elsie flawed, not perfect. And I loved that. And that's what makes her a human. Like she is flawed, she hopes, she makes mistakes, she hesitates, everything. And I love that character for that. So before I end talking about Elsie, something that I want to mention is the scene, that part where Elsie goes to labor. I actually felt it. I felt like I was going through labor that time when she delivers the baby. I felt like I couldn't actually read it. It was too much detail, and I couldn't actually read it. Okay, and it's a writing brilliance of the author, and a huge shout out to the author for that. Now I'm going to talk about a character, a prominent male character in the novel, that is Digby. I don't know, when Digby first came to the novel, he was introduced to the novel in the first initial phase itself, and when he first came to the novel, I was confused. What's the role of him in the story? He's an aspiring doctor somewhere around the world. Like, what's his role in this book? I always thought like that, and while reading the book, he was my less favorite character, to be honest. But at the end, where the truth was revealed only, I realized that he is the prominent character in the story, and I was completely shaken by that reveal. And also, one thing that I want to add is that throughout the book, I thought like how Mariama got this, this talent of becoming a doctor, how she became a gifted doctor. I used to wonder because her father, he's a writer, her mother is an artist. So how did she become? How did she become such a phenomenal doctor? I used to wonder, but at the end only I realized that it was the Digby's legacy that she was following. Something that I also want to mention while I'm mentioning the story about Digby is that he is the most traumatized character in the entire novel. Digby didn't even know who his real father is. He lost his mother at a very young age. Then he was sent to the Madras at a young age to work in a hospital, and there he falls in love with Celeste, and Celeste dies. And even though he was a gifted surgeon, his right arm got burned where he couldn't even perform a surgery thereafter. So his talent was shattered. He falls in love with Elsie, where they have a child, but unfortunately that child was brought up by Philippos. And then Elsie was diagnosed with leprosy, and then he have to take care of Elsie, and later Elsie lost her eyesight, and he have to take care of her. And I think that Digby was the most generous and the most traumatized character in the entire book, and I absolutely love that character for that. I feel really sad for that character. So now I'm going to talk about a complicated character in the story, that is Philippos. I absolutely hated him. I hated him. So he was such a bad husband. Like, he, even after his first son died, and then he expects his second son to be second child to be a son, and he have after that was a girl, he develops a kind of a hatred towards Elsie and Bigamechi. So I felt like I hated him actually. But Only when Mariamma read his diary only I realized that he was actually a very generous person, because he knew that Mariamma was not his biological daughter. He knew it, and still he took care of her. He brought up, he protected her, he gave literally everything for her, just because she was Elsie's daughter. And also he developed a kind of a love towards her, and he thought that, she's the only hope he had in his life, and he bought her. That was such a generous thing to do, and I feel really pity and sad for him. But even I truly regret hating him. But it's true that he's a bad husband, but yeah, I feel really sad for him. I always felt this thing that Celeste and Elsie had a lot of things in common. Trust me, they have a lot of things in common, and I think that's why Digby fell in love with these two amazing women. And also, something that I want to mention is that every single character in this novel is flawed. None of them are perfect. Like, everyone is flawed in one way or another, and I loved that. I really loved that. And another thing that I want to mention is the love story between Mariamma and Lenin. It was incomplete, but it was good. It was actually good, and I felt their love story a short resemblance to the one that Digby and Celeste had. So for me, Current of Water was a 5 out of 5 read for me, and it was absolutely a heart-wrenching novel wrapped in legacy and emotions. Yeah, it was such a wonderful novel, and I absolutely loved it. And if you ask me, this is the only book that I felt that I have to read it in my mother tongue, that is Malayalam. This is the only book that I absolutely felt like I should have read it in Malayalam, not in English, or else I would have felt this book much deeper. Actually, this book is available in Malayalam by the name of Jala Janmangal, and I'm looking forward to read that book as well. Something that I want to mention is the author's dedication, in writing and depicting the Kerala from 1900s to 1977 or 78. The way people talk, the way people, how their thoughts evolve time to time, and the history of Kerala. He have gone through everything, and he is a phenomenal writer. If you are a person who haven't read it yet, do read it ASAP. I hope this video helped you. If you did, do comment in the comment section, and also like this video, and also share this video to all your bookish loving friends. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye.